So now we're going to start building up her confidence towards being able to cross a bridge at liberty. So what I'll do to break it down for her is we'll first do the tarp, because the tarp is an object where she just has to step onto it. It's not necessarily raised or anything. We'll also do the plywood. So it depends on your horse at home. Some horses are going to be more confident with the tarp. Some are going to be more confident with the plywood. For some horses, the plywood is less likely to move and less likely to scare them. So that would be where I would suggest that you start. I'm going to go ahead and start with the tarp with her, just to start working her up to building her confidence towards the bridge. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to already start funneling her towards the object, because funneling will help me keep her straight. And remember, funneling is the teaching phase. I need to make sure she will let me help her if she needs the help. So I'm just, again, thinking about where it is I need to place my feet to keep her straight. And I'm going to approach it from the widest possible angle so that there's more room for error. And if she wants to paw it, this is her first time seeing it, that's totally fine. I'm going to go ahead and rub her here. And I'm actually going to take her away from the object rather than asking right away she cross it. Okay, so what that is going to do is I give her a release for trying, and that means that that takes away the pressure of her going straight to a scary object and, oh, you have to cross it. I want her to be relaxed. I want her to be confident. She's going to remember nothing bad happened the last time she was there. So she's more likely going to try hard to fulfill my request of her going over it. So we'll just break it down. If she just sniffs it, great. If she, the first time, every time I'm going to ask that she tries a little harder. So that's really nice, but she's already pawed it. So I'm going to ask that she tries to step forward onto it, maybe without pawing. Because this isn't a pawing movement anymore. Good. There we go. Very nice. I'll just go ahead and quickly set it back up. But I really love that there she wanted to paw it, which is fine. That is a sign of curiosity. Here she moves off, no big deal. But pawing's a sign of curiosity. I don't mind that she wants to investigate the object. That's no big deal. But after a while, we have to be the one to say, okay, now try a little harder. So if me messing with the tarp kind of made her a little unsure, I'll go ahead and get her connected. Very good. So I'm looking at her hind end. The hind end's going to give me the front end, and I'm moving on a circle. I'm not going directly to her. If I run out of space, I'm just going to change direction here. And I lost her on that side. I'm going to catch her eye, step away, and then drive energy at her hind end if she loses forward momentum. And then I'm going to go ahead and just stay on this circle for a second and see if she'll commit to connecting with me. Good girl. And then I'm going to bring her back down to the tarp. I just want to make sure she's committed before I start funneling again. I'll go back to this side, looking at her hind end. Good girl. That was really nice. I feel like she's more committed there. I'll rub her with my sticks, and then I'm going to ask her to funnel, and we're going to try the tarp again. I'll go ahead and, for now, approach the tarp from the same side each time because I don't want to change anything yet while she's still building that confidence. I'm going to kind of loop her wide so I can already be on it straight. Good girl. Good, very nice. So she's kind of looking behind her like she's a little worried about the tarp. So I'm going to rub her here for a second. Let her know she did the right thing. Good girl. So I'm going to go ahead and walk her a circle down around the bridge. This gives her a chance to see the bridge with me without me having to demand that she goes over it. I'd like her to stay connected, but I don't mind if she wants to be curious and check it out. Now that she's crossed the tarp one direction already, I'm going to go ahead and cross it at a different angle. Just building her confidence with this tarp. Good girl. If she wants to check it out and sniff it, that's fine. I'll go ahead and rub and reassure her, and then step back to draw her over. Good. So she's a little unsure of it by her back feet. She's comfortable putting her front feet on it, but she's not comfortable putting her backs. I'll accept that this time, but I'm going to go ahead and ask that she walks with me here. And then we're going to try again from that first angle, just helping her get more confident with her back feet touching it. Good girl. Okay, it's more than just put your front feet on, but not the wrong answer. I'll just rub her, help her gain confidence. So if she gets stuck, I'm going to go hind end to hind end and try to direct her straight. So there, she wasn't trying very hard. She's getting more and more crooked. I'm not going to accept that answer. We'll try again. She's got to try a little harder. Again, not trying very hard. I'm just gonna tell her, hey, try a little harder here. Good. She's kind of all over the place with her body. Good girl. Straightness, not lateral. Good, there we go. Remember how that body control is what is going to help us with our guiding our horse to the object. So if their shoulders are bulging out, we can use that shoulder control to lift that shoulder. If her ribs are kind of all over the place or her hind end isn't following her shoulders, we can use that body control to help try and keep them straight. I'm going to go ahead and ask her to follow me here. Doing a little release of pressure. We're not going straight to the back to the tarp. We're just doing a release until she gets a little more confident with it. I'll try that again. Good girl. That one looked a lot better. She's still kind of eyeing the tarp there. So I'm just going to kind of pick up on the ribs here just to reinforce she doesn't need to bulge her shoulder out. Good girl. I'm going to go ahead and walk her a circle over this direction. Let her see the barrels, and then I'll loop her a different direction back to the tarp. If she wants to sniff it, that's fine. Good girl. And as I start to think about approaching, I'm going to pick up on her and funnel her. Thinking about straightness as I approach. Good, that was a lot better. And there she stayed straight. She was confident enough that she didn't feel like she had to turn and look at it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop her again as a release, and then I'm going to try to come through a narrower side. So I'm just going to think about where I need to be to keep her straight. Here she gets distracted, that's fine. Again, we're approaching from a new angle. It's a little harder because we're through a narrow side. Very good. I'm gonna go ahead and release that pressure. And now we're gonna kind of walk down here by the cones and reapproach the tarp. Now I'm gonna increase the difficulty of the tarp because now my back's gonna be turned. I can't help her as much. Good girl. So now we're gonna try to walk over it together. Or there, I didn't have to walk over it with her. That was really great because she was willing to stay on it by herself. So that was even more difficult because that was pretty much in hand and she was going over it without me having to show her the answer. So that was really awesome. We'll go ahead and end the tarp session there because I feel like she's a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable. She stayed nice and straight and she stayed center even when I didn't have to cross the tarp there with her. So we'll go ahead and end the session there with the tarp. We'll continue on to another obstacle.